Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, and we are back for game 2 of this Reddit Outpicked adventurous game of goodness. Today it was, I have two special guests with me. The game was so boring I needed to bring in some co-casters. So with me today I have Chroipahtz. Chroipahtz, how you doing today?
Doing alright, looking forward to a crazy little game here.
Very good. I also have Mkvenner here with me, who I'm going to be calling Ven for the rest of the game. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, so we are here in Game 2. They've switched sides. The Hellborn team is now Legion. The Legion is now the Hellborn. We do have a little bit of switch of the players as well. Some people logged off. Some people are on different teams. Some people are on the same, but that's okay. And so we're going to see a lot of similar matchups. But right off the bat, we do see a Blacksmith going up against Soul Stealer mid. Chroipahtz, how do you feel about that particular matchup?
To be honest, I don't think Soul Stealer should have too much of a hard time here. I think they sent Blacksmith mid because he's the best player on their team.
Yeah, this definitely makes a big difference. You know, when you put something that's really good mid, they can play almost anything. As the people that have played with me can attest, I take ridiculous things mid and tend to do pretty well, but Soul Stealer does definitely have the advantage. Up top, we have the Silver Lane. It's going to be a Hellbringer going up against a Madman. Ven, how do you feel about that particular matchup here on top?
Well, Hellbringer probably has the advantage because he can just death blow Madman, but if he just like harasses with his invis and gets creep kills when he can, it might be kind of even.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is going to come down to Madman's mana management, because you know his spells are so powerful, but if he just spams them, he's not really able to use them to last hit or get away. He also did not choose to get an Iron Buckler. He went with that hatchet instead. That could prove to be a little bit dangerous if this Hellbringer is really up to par on his harassment. And then on bottom, we do have a tri-lane versus a tri-lane. It's going to be a Gauntlet, Empath, Bombardier tri-lane going up against Pyromancer, Flint Beastwood, and Fade as well. Fade in the tri-lane, that's definitely not something we see a ton. Croy, how do you feel about these tri-lanes? Do you think either one has a particular advantage here on bottom?
To be honest, I'm not that experienced with tri-lanes, so I can't really tell.
Yeah, even as somebody that has seen like quite a few tri-lanes, I mean, you don't see something like this in a game, right? You do not see Gauntlet, Empath, Bombardier going against Fade, Pyro, Flint Beastwood. It just does not happen.
Well, definitely in pro games we don't see these heroes, especially, so it's kind of strange.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the fun thing with this Outpicked game is that we do see actually Empath just standing there, literally standing there in the middle of the creeps to die. That is going to turn into a double kill, and Bombardier is going to have to run away with his tail between his legs. A little bit unfortunate by the Hellborn team. I'm not quite sure what was going on there, but they were just standing around. So far advantage to the Hellborn team. Then, what do you think about the team's late games? If this game ends up going into the late game, who do you think has the advantage?
If it gets waylaid, I'd probably give it to Madman and Flint against Soul Stealer, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really going to be kind of that Soul Stealer's job to be that huge force in the mid game. I was talking about it last game, how it's going to be really kind of the linchpin of the team on this Soul Stealer. He really has to make his presence known in the mid game, and in order to do that, he's going to have a ton of gold per minute. So far, we do see that Soul Stealer has... where is he? He's a 13-1 creep score going against Blacksmith, who is 6-2. So far so good. He's doing a pretty good job at keeping it up. It does look like he chose to get a lot of stats first. He went with 2 deck boots as well as 2 minor totems and kind of the standard Rinse of Blight and Health Pump combination, which is putting him at about, he's got about 900 gold right now. I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't chosen to spend that on anything. He is level 5, so his hand spam would be quite powerful if he chose to get that bottle and got that rune control established. We do have a bottle coming to this Blacksmith, so he's going to choose to kind of contend for those runes going up against the Soul Stealer. It'll be interesting to see who's able to actually kind of win the rune race a little bit. Any just thoughts so far on the game so far, Crow? It's been kind of an action-packed game here on bottom.
Well, one thought I have is that these players aren't really used to playing with each other, so perhaps the coordination and communication is not going to be the best. Also, we have the bottle coming to Soul Stealer mid, so we finally chose to get one of those.
Yeah, and we do see his timing was a little bit off on that, right? Because he got the bottle, but it was at a timing when the rune was already up. Ooh, Blacksmith coming a little bit too close to him. Oh, he just did not have enough mana on a Soul Stealer to finish off the Blacksmith. Oh, and Blacksmith does manage to get a full regeneration rune off. That's a little bit painful for the Soul Stealer. Again, you know, timing is really, really important. He had that 900 gold for so long. And Blacksmith able to actually spam on him and get up to full HP and mana. Oh, Soul Stealer actually going down.
It's really unfortunate that he couldn't get the region off. Just with any auto attack or any demon hand, it would have probably saved him there.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, Ven, just any thoughts on the game so far?
They're winning all 3 lanes, the Legion team, even Madman.
Yeah, that's pretty painful. Let's see that creep score. We have a 14-8 Madman going up against a 10-5 Hellbringer, so he's definitely winning that lane. It's very painful, you know, any game that you're in where the opposing team is winning all 3 lanes, even if they're not crushing it, just to be in a position of power in all 3 lanes, it's just so devastating to your team. You really kind of at least need one lane to really perform well, so that you can kind of use that and trying to cascade that into more advantage going into the mid game. I think a lot of this is really going to come down to when the Hellbringer gets the early level 6. You see him actually using the Crow to bring himself mana and health pots. I really like that. It's going to let him stay in lane effectively and continue to spam onto this Madman. Decent.
We see Fate trying to attempt to gank top, but it's not really going to be very effective because he doesn't even have boots yet.
Yeah, and we do see the Hellbringer is hugging the tower. Blacksmith was able to get another kill on the Soul Stealer mid. Really bad for him. Again, because, you know, the timing of that is important, because we're coming to that 6-minute mark, and that means a rune is going to spawn, and that means the Blacksmith essentially gets the rune for free. They're not going to be able to contest it. Even the tri-lane bottom is not really in a position where they want to go contest that rune on bot, and so it does look like Blacksmith is going to get a free illusion rune on bottom. We do see Fade is kind of sticking up here on top. Do either of you guys have an opinion on this Fade kind of turning this into a 2-1-2 game?
She definitely hasn't done much up top yet.
I don't really see the point.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what their motivation is. We do see Blacksmith chasing down the Soul Stealer. Hopefully the Hellboy team will be able to punish them, but Empath actually does not have any mana, and so Soul Stealer goes down quite easily, and Blacksmith just takes his pride walk with his little swagger back to the mid lane. Again, you know, Soul Stealer was not in a position to really contest that rune, and so it was quite dangerous when he went back and got it. We do see Blacksmith is, you know, pulling in about 265 gold per minute at this point. Soul Stealer is at 131 gold per minute. It's really, really important that Soul Stealer gets his farm up at this point. What he should be doing is to just be going to the lane, clearing the creep waves ASAP with those 3 demon hands that he needs at this point, and going to the jungle and stacking it and using that to really get his gold per minute up. So I'm really going to be looking for him to have some super tight play at this point. It's really, really, really going to be important for his team that he really picks up the pace and does it quick, because, you know, the whole, like, when he hits level 7, his GPM needs to skyrocket, because at that point he can 2-shot creep waves, and that's going to be a super important period of time in the game. So, yeah, we do see the Magman did chose to get a mana tube first. He doesn't really have anything else, but he is doing some really effective pulling. Has anybody been keeping an eye on this Magman and how he's been doing in this lane up top?
Every time I've looked, Hellbringer's been back at his tower, so...
Yeah, he's really winning the creep farm war now. Oh, I don't know about really, but he's up by like 7.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that he's only ahead by 7, but when you look at somebody that is that kind of melee hero that's easy to harass and doesn't even have a shield, oh, but Hellbringer just go ahead and dies him with that Malefice. Such a powerful ult early, and that's all you really need. We do see Bombardier running away with 12 HP here on bottom. Looks like he is going to be just enough to get away. Really nice job by him squeezing out that life. And Pyromancer by Mark's in a little bit of danger, but he is going to get away as well. Another kill in mid on this Soul Stealer. What does he have to do at this point, do you guys think, to turn around that lane? Because he's 0-4-0, guys.
I mean, he can recover, I'm sure, if he gets good stacks, but it'll be really difficult.
I finally got it.
Oh, and we do have with us our 4th caster, one Miss Rosbif. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. I'm doing quite well.
Have you been able to keep an eye on the game so far? Or have you been busy with Marvel?
Not too much.
Okay, well, we were just talking about this mid lane, because it's actually Blacksmith is 4-0 against the 0-4 Soul Stealer in mid. Do you think that Soul Stealer is going to be able to come back from having 150 gold per minute 10 minutes into the game?
I don't think so. Once Blacksmith kind of gets on that roll, it's kind of hard to stop him.
Yeah, I mean, he does roll those dice, and that can be quite devastating. I'm also a little bit disappointed that nobody is kind of stacking the jungle for Soul Stealer. You don't really need Empath in lane at this point. She could be the one that is going through that jungle, triple stacking it, and really letting Soul Stealer clean up. We do see a lot of action here on top on this Hellbringer. He is going to fall to this Fade Madman combination. Again, Fade is still only level 5. She doesn't even have her ult, and for them to be able to get that kill on Hellbringer with just their kind of base skills is pretty important for the Legion team. And, you know, again, we're just seeing that the kind of decency team is really showing us that playing and the actual in-game is pretty important, and we're seeing them win again with this same team. How do you think that the Hellborn team, guys, any of you, should be reacting in this mid-game? How can the team as a whole kind of get back into this?
Well, one thing they definitely have to do is help Soul Stealer be able to farm again, and we do have some action mid.
Yeah, it does look like it's going to be a little bit close. I think Fate is going to be able to live through this. Yeah, you see Bombardier is only level 4. If you're something like level 7, I'd be a little bit more concerned for that Fade. Being a level 2 bomb is just not going to be enough to do work. And Bombardier actually does get picked off for it by this Man. Really great play by Emmett on this Man. I actually didn't go through the players' names. I apologize for that. I'm going to do that real quick. We have Decency here on the Blacksmith. We have String Tape, which is not as delicious as string cheese, over here on this Flint Beastwood. Emmett on the Madman, as we just said. Jew, which I'm just going to say is Jew, on this Fade. And S2 marks, apostrophe, or whatever, tilt, I don't know what that mark is called. On, what is it?
It's an accent grab. It's an accent grab.
Yes, that is what I meant to say. And then we do have For the Swarm on Gauntlet. Lutz here on Soul Stealer. A lot of pings going here in the top jungle. I'm going to take a little break to kind of admire those pings. Madman should be able to get away here, no problem. Yeah, there he goes. Uses his stock and a barrel roll. Ooh, he is ballsy. And I think he's still going to live through that. We do see a nice stunning wave combination there by Pyromancer, who's TPing out. Ooh, he does not get away. And that is a really nice fight for the Hellmore team. You know, they got 2 pickoffs. It wasn't free. Empath did go down, but I think that they will take that exchange any day of the week. Continuing, we do have Edge Keen on Hellbringer. I'm really bad at names. Threadicore on Bombardier, which I'm now going to call a German metal band. And the Fat Man, of course, on that Empath. So, any particular play standing out to you so far, Rosbif, now that you've been in the game for a little bit?
To be honest, I haven't seen that much of the game yet.
Well, you just saw Soul Stealer get ulted down in mid and die.
That's a really bad sign. There should be more TPs and support for him.
Yeah, you really need the team to kind of organize around the Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer is pulling in about 200 gold per minute, so he's squeaked up there a little bit, about 30 gold per minute higher. He does have an assist and a kill now, which is much better than the 05-0. But still not quite what he needs.
Well, he's really not going to be able to farm mid, so he should be in jungle or some other lane.
Yeah, you really kind of need to just bite the bullet and bounce around at this point. He cannot afford to just keep walking into the middle. You see that they've really stacked the Legion team in mid. There's like 3 or 4 people here. They just do not want Soul Stealer to farm. And so the way to react to that is just kind of take a TP and walk to the top lane and farm it a bunch, and then TP bot and then farm that a bunch, rather than continually trying to slamming it home in this mid lane, which we see. You know, they're just TPing back to mid lane. They're trying to get a team fight at this point, but I really think that they need the farm. A ton of action going on here. It looks like the gauntlet is going to fall, and we do see Blacksmith just kind of running away. He's a really low HP, cannot really go back in. 1-for-1 exchange so far. Not too good for the Hellmore team. I don't think that this is what they want at this point. I don't think that they want kills. I really feel like they need to get farm on the Soul Stealer so that he can transfer into the mid game and then get much cleaner farm. Much cleaner team fights, you know, 2-for-2 exchange. Crow, how do you feel about that? Do you think that they wanted that team fight at this point? Or would you have preferred them getting more farm onto the Soul Stealer? Crow, baby.
Oh, sorry.
Do you think they should be looking for these team fights right now, or do you think they should try to transition into some other strategy?
Well, they're definitely at the disadvantage right now, so I think pushing it is a little inadvisable, so they really need to find farm. Like, right now, the top lane is pushed to their tower, so that would be a great place to farm.
Yeah.
Except that Legion has Madman and Flint,